Moncrieff on Newstalk.
A bar on Parnell Street in Dublin was recently issued with a closure order by the Food Safety Authority after they discovered a cockroach infestation. Live, moving cockroaches were observed under actual food preparation areas. Oh, it's difficult to even read this. So just how big an issue is this invasive species in Ireland and what can be done about it? Well, joining me now is Brendan Higgins from Central Pest Control. Good afternoon, Brendan.
Good afternoon, Mairead. How are you today?
Oh, I don't know how I'm going to feel in the next few minutes talking to you about this, but first off...
Has it put you off your lunch?
Yes. You know what? I found myself just kind of scratching my head a lot, scratching the back of my neck. I'm not sure if it's the jumper I'm wearing or if it's just talking about cockroaches. But first off, how common are cockroaches in Ireland?
Cockroaches are very big problem in Ireland, especially in city centre areas, as we get asked quite a lot, is there cockroaches in Ireland? And the answer to that obviously is yes. Believe it or not, cockroaches have been on Earth for over 200 odd million years, well before dinosaurs. So it's a well-established, travelled insect. Yes, the biggest problem with cockroaches could be generally the disease they carry, the damage they do, and the fear they put into people. We have seen an increase with cockroaches and closure orders, etc., not only in Dublin but other capitals and cities within Ireland. So it is a big problem that needs to be addressed urgently, and it's good to see the Food Safety Authority taking action.
Okay, you mentioned the disease they carry. I mean, I know they're less than pretty to look at, but I didn't realise that they were dangerous too.
Well, it's like everything else. If you hear the news and suddenly there's been an outbreak of salmonella, gastroenteritis or tuberculosis on a cruise, whatever, the first thing comes into my mind, has there been a cockroach infestation? So salmonella would be right up there with the top of them. Again, if you visualise where these dirty buggers hide out, they could be hiding out in a microwave, a grease trap, a drain, a gully, etc. So yes, they are known to carry diseases, and this is why you're seeing more and more basic action being taken on various different food outlets.
A microwave? How could they survive in a microwave?
Listen, all the goodies are in the microwave. All the goodies are in the toaster, behind the milk dispenser. They're looking for an element of warmth, heat, harbinging zones. The female herself will lay basically an egg case called a utica. And the utica, one little utica can average 35 to 40 babies, and it's the size of maybe sweet corn. So the female, the German cockroach, what we deal with here in Ireland, she will hold her egg case for the last minute, might leave it in the back of a microwave because of the warmth, the electrics, the motor. So when we carry out inspections for cockroach control, you're looking for where they're going to hide, not the obvious. It's normally concealed, tucked away in amongst machinery, second-hand furniture, etc.
Oh my God, you've mentioned a variety there, the German cockroach. So is that the only one that we have in Ireland?
No, the German cockroach would be high on the list. It's then followed by basically the Oriental cockroach, which is a dark brown insect, normally found in basement areas, damp areas, heavy moisture compound areas, etc. And they will also lay eggs, but the numbers within their eggs is something like 16 nymphs for one egg case. But listen, we've been on holidays and we've seen the Americano, we've seen the Australian, we've seen various cockroaches on our holidays, thinking that they're not in Ireland, but they're very much in Ireland. I'm in the industry for over 30 years, and I was even surprised when I joined the industry. But of late, most of our calls at Central Pest Control have really been apartment blocks where you have retail, food outlets, etc., underneath all these apartments. So with the growth in population and the ever-increasing influx of food, ethnic, etc., that chain definitely has increased cockroaches in Ireland, etc. But your last month alone, I think it was a record closure order, something like, I think it was about 16 or 18 enforcement closure orders. And that's all down to basically, pest issues, hygiene issues, and that's where the cockroaches want to hang out. They don't want to hang out somewhere nice and clean. They want something a little bit rough and ready for them.
I mean, I feel a little bit kind of protected or something because I haven't seen a cockroach myself since I was 8 years of age. 8 years of age in Mallorca. That was the first time, and I haven't seen one since.
Well, that could be arranged.
I don't want to. Thank you.
That's very easy arranged. Listen, it's like everything else. When I get into the industries at the start, reading our technical handbooks and all the training we get on a very regular basis here at Central Pest Control, cockroaches were always known to be very much nocturnal. However, that myth has been thrown out the window because we did an apartment complex there about a week ago, and the cockroaches were at the hall door greeting us, which was very unusual during the day. However, what we did discover that their bins were basically stored at the front of the hall door. So with regard to the food chain was at the hall door. So they felt basically quite comfortable in around the frame of the hall door.
So they are nocturnal, but if you see them during the day, that means you're in serious trouble. That means it's bad.
Absolutely. When I read about closure orders, at the back of my mind always says, well, if I was there, I'd be there about 12 o'clock at night and see exactly what is moving. So when they are found so easy and the health authorities are correct in their approach, if they're finding them during the day and they're not happy with various different conditions, poor pest control, etc., poor resistance for the control of cockroaches, this is where you're getting your enforcement orders, your closure orders. And of course, nowadays we live in the world name and shame. So it will go online that you've been closed down due to an outbreak of cockroaches.
And what if your business is close by, but you might run the risk of an infestation happening in your business too, even if you are, I suppose, very hygienic? Because they go for one? I suppose what I'm saying is it like head lice when it gets into one class? It goes from one head to another, and suddenly the whole class has it.
Yeah, it's like everything else. If you look at most city centre establishments and you pick any particular street without naming a street, you'll see that all the buildings are all adjacent to each other. So when you take on a cockroach infestation, the correct way to deal with it, if you're going into, say, unit number 7, you would always go to unit basically kind of either side of them, say, by the way, Central Pest Control doing a risk assessment site survey. If you have any pest issues, let us know. So this is where failure of cockroaches can come in city centres, where somebody would go in and basically treat a particular restaurant where the problem may be come from a restaurant next door, may have been flushed from either side. And don't forget, it's one of those things, yes, if you run a clean establishment, you are open for a cockroach infestation. But if they had a choice of bad housekeeping, spillage, etc., they're more happy in amongst those unhealthy environments.
Okay, and they're known as being notoriously difficult to kill. So what do you do? How do you get rid of them?
Well, it's like everything else. The best approach, like with everything, as I said at the start, being in this industry over 30 years, the most important thing is a detailed survey. So you will go in the evening time and you're looking for basically them hiding in a service duct or hiding in a microwave, hiding in a grease trap, whatever. So the most important thing is your first initial approach. Then you would set up basically what we call monitoring 24/7 cockroach boards. And then you'd come back within 7 days to check to see the activity on the boards. That would only give you an indication whether you've got male, female, nymphs, eggs, whatever. Then you put in a pest control program. And we would always recommend at Central Pest Control that when you're dealing with a cockroach infestation, it has to start off with night inspections. It's where you get your best results. However, not to be complacent, you do need to put in a pest prevention program to maintain good pest control practices.
Oh my God, wait, I don't know how I'm going to ever eat out ever again.
And all you got to do is ask where I eat, because people say to me, where would you not eat, Brendan? And I say, that's the wrong question. You should ask Brendan, where does he eat? And I'm very, very happy supporting our customers. I shop local.
So tell me then about other problems. Rats. Again, I'm born and bred, living in Dublin my whole life. I can count on one hand, if even maybe 3 rats. I've seen foxes more often than I've seen rats in Dublin. So is there a problem with rats in Dublin City too?
Yeah, there's always been a rat issue in around Dublin and surrounding areas, and you made a very valid point with regard to your urban fox. Everything has changed. Foxes have come closer to home. Seagulls, herrings have come closer to home. Your grey squirrels come close to home. However, our bread and butter really is rats and mice. They're always on the top of the list.
Please don't put bread and butter and rats and mice in the same sentence ever again, Brendan.
I know, but it's one of those things. If you visualise city centre, deliveries, old infrastructures, old drains and sewers and places like that, rats are never too far away. Everyone has their own opinion with regard to you're 2, 4, 5 feet away. They're never too far away. A very predictable rodent, but again, it would warrant a closure order if there was a rat infestation found in a food outlet, again, with the disease they carry. And not only that, too, is there's some shocking evidence with regard to the amount of fires that have happened. I think on the last count, something like 25% of fires were related to rodent activity. Rats and mice will gnaw their top and size their teeth, and they could pick on an electric cable. However, they might pick an electric cable, they might get shocked, they might die, but the damage is done.
Yeah. So they've done. They not only burn your they kill themselves, but they also then could ruin your entire business.
Absolutely, absolutely. And more what we're seeing in the industry over the last maybe 12 months is a lot of people are going down the road to be DIY experts in pest control. However, it's falling back on them because, really with pest control, you really do need a professional to deal with your pest-related issues.